And we return. Frep,
Yes.
in front of you is Courage, sort of waiting for you to make the burst move. What's your game plan?
Uh, I mean, I know that Courage is like significantly taller than we were. So I guess like try and step in close and take a swing with this, ridiculous sword. Not that he's ever fought with like a sword, person to person, presumably. So it's just like, how would he do it with using a walker frame? Just fucking yarded at her, I guess.
Alrighty, I'd like you to make me a grit melee.
Grit melee. All right. That's an 11. So that's gonna fail by a lot. Let's see. Yeah, that's 5 degrees of failure. I nearly criticaled that in the
Ouch.
wrong direction.
So, how do you swing exactly?
I mean, honestly, it probably is like swinging a fucking club. Like, there's not really any nuance or skill to it.
You swing from your right, and Courage catches it on her blade, pushes your arm out of the way as you fly after it, and as you turn right, then you see a basically her blade right up next to your neck, and right before hitting you, which then she stops. She puts the dummy sword in the crook of her arm and says, "Lieutenant Weaver, if you return to a ready position."
All right. Like, I guess assume. Yeah, step back to that.
As she walks over, she adjusts your hand. So when you take a swing, you need to make sure you stay towards your center of gravity. Yes, because it's easier to transfer energy from that point. And when you take big, wide swings, they might look good on the movies, but you're wasting a lot of energy and you're or telegraphing to your opponent what you're doing. You want your cuts to be a fast and small, like this. And she like mimes the motion and basically like guiding your hand on how to do it. And she takes some step backs. Now try it again on me. I'll just stand here and try to parry.
All right. I will reset and attempt to like emulate the actions as he showed me.
Please roll me the same thing with a +2 per her instructions.
Well, that's a significantly better roll, so that's oddly cinematic. So I rolled a 4. I'm aiming for under a 7, so that'd be 3, 4, 6 degrees with that plus of
As
success.
all everyone in the room hears the clang of steel, you hear Courage say, "Good, good. Now again." And you swipe at her again, and says, "That is excellent, Lieutenant." Now, as she stops. Did you notice how I was parrying, and from the low position, and then she raises her arm at the high position?
He'll like nod. I assume he's at least got some understanding of what's going on at this point.
So when you took your swing at me, hey, you'll notice I reflexively shifted my weight from my back foot to my front foot. So the trick with saber fightings is not in the initial attack, but in the riposte. So if you would please slowly swing at me, as she puts her in a low guard,
Right? He'll do as he's told.
and your swords touch, and says, "You notice how I'm on my back foot right now, and because I have stopped your attack, you need to retract to try again, right?
Right.
Do so, and I'll show you what you're supposed to do in response to a successful parry, as the one parrying."
All right. And again, he'll follow her instructions.
As you leave, you see her slowly mime the same motion of shifting her weight forward and making a thrust towards you. As, it like gently hits your chest. So when your opponent is retracting, they're in a position of weakness. And that is your opportunity to strike. And then
Makes sense.
she turns to the rest of the class. Does that make enough sense, everyone? Well, if anyone has any questions, I will be wandering around critiquing. Any volunteers for Lieutenant Jamie here?
Nora looks at Jamie. I think I could try.
Very well then. She takes a few steps back to give you her spot, Nora.
Nora steps up with her gear on, telephone. And then she kind of gets a bit lower and raises her sword and waits.
Commence, Courage says.
Great. I guess Weaver will step in and try and, do the same attack as he'd been practicing with Courage most recently. Trying to remember the small and fast cuts rather than completely yarding it.
I'd like you to make me a poise melee, Weaver.
Use melee. That is a singular success.
Nora, what do you do?
Nora tries to basically weave out of the way and push it to the side.
I would like you to roll me then great acrobatics.
Oh, that was almost good job. Three successes.
3 successes. You weave out of the way as, Jamie makes a quick dash forward, shifting his weight. And, the blade flies by. Now what, Nora?
Nora attempts to kind of swing back and get him by the hand.
Poise melee, please. Jamie, any responses?
He'll just attempt to parry.
Poise melee as well.
Mm. Fail by 3.
All right. 2 successes.
Jamie, as you try to bring your arm over, it catches you right on the wrist. Take 1 damage to your armor.
All right.
And then you hear Courage say, "Point, Captain Callaghan."
Ruefully rub his wrist. Well, shit.
Nora is tapping her foot, kind of looking at the sword like she hasn't done this in a while, so she feels weird.
Actually, Jamie, when you at closer inspection, you notice that Captain Callaghan's training sword isn't the same as everyone else. It's not a rental. Much like Courage's own isn't a rental.
Interesting. I feel like I'm at all sorts of disadvantages, and he'll like nod at her. uh, Sword that is, markedly different than the others.
Again,
See Courage put her hand up.
All right.
Commence.
I think at this point I'm going to wait for Callaghan to try something first.
Nora's going to quickly step in and immediately try to swat the sword out of the way. And then drive it in. Get him right in the gut.
Jamie responds.
I'm going to just try and step to the side, and I guess if I can clear get away to the point, then try and thrust back.
Alrighty, I would like you, Jamie, to make me a keen acrobatics or athletics, whichever is higher. And Nora, I would like you to make me a grit melee.
There's 5. Then. Oh. Okay. Three failures.
2 success on athletics.
Ooh.
Jamie, you sidestep her thrust, and she's mostly open right now. You said you wanted to attack, so that would be a poise melee at a -1.
Poise melee -1. That'll be failure by a fair bit.
And
or failure.
And Callaghan, basically shifts over to our right as, you take a downward swing at her shoulder and it just misses.
Oh. It's better exchange than last time, at least. Do we reset, or do we just keep going from this point?
Until someone scores a point.
I will try and step in and press whatever advantage I've gained, which apparently I probably just squandered, but either way.
Alrighty, grit melee.
I think just like Courage, I think Nora is also significantly bigger than Jamie, so stepping back doesn't seem like a wise choice.
Yeah, I think she is. In fact, I think she's as tall as Courage is.
I think I once said that Courage and Nora are going to give fans in 40 years, because this is supposed to be 82. Very complicated feelings. You're going to have opinions about them.
3 success on the poise melee.
Nora, any response?
Nora's going to try to also step in, but trying to kind of swat the sword away again.
So grit melee.
Basically respond.
This sounds like a meeting attack.
Yes. Already have that on. Damn, I keep getting close to potential. No, I'm at 12. 3 successes.
Frep?
I believe it was 3 success for me as well.
Tiebreaker, please.
Okay.
Actually, wait, no. It technically doesn't matter. You both go for this attack, and you both hit, which is a draw.
Okay.
Then Courage says, "Excellent, Lieutenant Ed Weaver and Captain Callaghan." And then she goes into a spiel for the rest of class about the footwork involved. As you know, the two of you take a break, so someone else can start. All right, being Courage's example dummies. Jeanne, where are you?
That's a fantastic question. Well, we're all at the bowling alley, so I assume I'm at the bowling alley.
Well,
I suppose
this was the bowling alley.
This was the bowling alley?
Yeah, the long lanes are perfect for this sort of thing, actually.
You know what? They're fencing. Jeanne's just been kind of watching them play, but her eye keeps motioning to the the bowling ball dispenser. You know, the thing that gives you back your ball when you fucking throw it. And there's some bowling balls, and it's like, you know, she never got to play something like bowling back home. Well, I guess there were similar enough substitutes, but like, you know, this is proper bowling, and as Courage is giving her demonstration, John's just gonna stand up, make her way, and take a bowling ball.
You grab it. You have a bowling ball in
And
your
then
hand now.
And then I throw it at him. No, I'm kidding.
You chuck it at Courage's head.
Yeah. I guess John looks at it. She figures out that, you know, the three holes you put your finger, your ring finger, and your thumb in, and she looks down the alley where there are bowling pins set because I don't know, Philippe paid for the bowling experience. The staff are just watching, being like, "What the fuck are they doing?" while they're fencing in the bowling lane. And John's gonna try and go for a. I don't know what the term is. Fuck. A bowl? What's the term?
I don't know.
I'm gonna play bowling. We're going bowling.
Well, technically, you swing your arm during the motion of throwing the ball.
True. So I guess throw the ball, yeah, or roll it down the alley, the lane.
Alrighty. What's your strategy with this? Describe it to me.
Jeanne, you know, lifts the bowling ball up to her and is going to try and apply the same type of you know, firing solutions one would put in, you know, their full shot beam rifle in a sense. And also take into account the you know, she's worked in the mines. She's had to fucking shoot things across over low gravity to somebody who needed like a hammer or some shit. It's dangerous, yes, but we're miners, so what's OSHA regulation? We don't do that shit here. So she's going to take into account both her training as a soldier, her keen sharpshooter eye, and her experience from the mines to try and line up a shot and go for a swing.
You have no idea how big my smile is right now.
When you think about it, this is perfect fire solution practice. This is perfect. This is like target practice when you think about it. Like,
this is
like
really,
really.
This really is on the level of like Hachime no Ippo describing a boxer as like being two wolves at the same time. It's like,
yeah, a sniper is like a bowler. All right. So what do I do? What do I roll?
Let's see. Firearms grit.
Okay, so that's a 6. I got a 5 on a 6, so that's gonna be 2 successes.
You throw it down. You knock over 7 pins.
How's this? How's it split up? Did I get it down the middle, or did I knock down like the right or the left side?
You knock down the right side.
Okay, so all that's left is the left side. John is going to take into account how the ball swerved and make adjustments as if you were making adjustments to your firing solution when shooting your full shot beam rifle like a normal person does, everyday common bowling knowledge.
Attacked
And
firearms -2.
tact firearms -2.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that's gonna be a 4 threshold. Okay, wait, 1 sec. I need to get my dice. Because dog is getting in the way of my dice rolling.
Dyslexic god.
Nope. That's gonna be a 7. I gutter it completely.
Exactly. Next to you, you hear the voice, I say, of Lieutenant Brown, one of the Dragonfly pilots, with what looks like a skewered beef, like a barbecued thing. Say, Lieutenant Chevalier, we did pay for the alley to do the fencing.
She, will kind of like jump a bit in surprise and just say, "Oh, well, I was figuring since the bowling balls are there and the pins are there, I figure it would be fun to give it a try." I mean, they're right there. She's gonna point to the pins.
So I think you're supposed to have specific shoes for this kind of thing.
Am I? And she looks down to her fucking standard military shoes.
Your pretty good traction boots.
Yeah, which is probably why I haven't slipped and fallen. Well, actually, that's probably why the fencing group hasn't tripped and fallen, all things considered, since they're doing a lot more footwork than I am at the moment. One moment, and she's gonna go buy bowling shoes.
Wait. You have to write down your score. As he brings up a piece of paper.
Oh, yeah, yes, of course. And she's gonna look at the fucking bowling score pin and write down 7 pins on the first throw and a miss on the second.
It's just fat fucking 0, so your total is 7 for, first round. If I remember, it's been a while since I go mine at bowled, but I believe you play.
I haven't bowled in forever. I want to go bowling, but nobody wants to go bowling with me. I feel like fucking what's his face's cousin from Grand Theft Auto 4.
Nico, let's go bowling.
Let's go bowling. So yeah, she'll write her score down, and while they train on improving their melee, I'm gonna train on improving my firing of my firearms.
Please roll to improve your firearms, or you can get mine dealt back. Either or. Roman.
What's my mind dealt
back? Yeah, Roman. From GTA 4.
I've got a 6. I got a 6 out of 7 in mind health. I'm good. Let's improve my deadly capacity via bowling. We're gonna just Baki Hajime. We're gonna Baki Hajime no Ippo this shit of me watching a bowling player and being like, "I'm sorry I haven't gotten to your level yet, master." Their eyes able to calculate the perfect shot. But yeah, so I'm gonna buy some bowling. She's gonna rent some bowling shoes, right? She's gonna put them on. She's gonna look at them and tap them against the floor, feeling a little satisfied, And it's like the camera's like showing everyone's combat boots, and then a pair of bowling shoes are gonna stride across, and she's gonna return to her alley, which has been reset because you get like 2 throws in a round, and she is going to once again continue bowling.
And Muncher is gonna join you.
Yay, let's go bowling. We gotta try this. We gotta do it. Alright, let's do it.
Muncher has a bowling ball in his hand and says, "So, where are you from, Cleric?"
I come from near the. Let me get the map. Like, where's the map?
The map, the map, the map, the map.
The map, the big ass map. I come from the Hills Asteroids near the Jovian Greek camp.
Oh, the border. You're a belter, right?
Yes. Sorry, that's my dog snoring. He's right up with me because he can't leave me alone. But yes. But yes, no, she continues as she's like, yes, I come from the belt.
Oh, this is a long way from home.
Well, I have the Major to thank for that. He encouraged me to enlist after we encountered one of each other.
Huh. As you know, a pitcher of beer comes over. You can drink, right?
What's the legal? Oh yeah, 21. Yes, I can, but I don't really prefer to.
Will you have at least one with me?
She thinks for a moment. I suppose one wouldn't hurt.
That's my gal. And she puts the two plastic cups in front of him and pours it out.
Are they red?
No, this is a bowling alley, not a house party.
True. Yeah, sorry.
And he says to the squadron,
To the squadron. And she'll cheer, clink the plastic cups, the classic sound of plastic scraping against each other. And, and well, I guess it's time to start bowling for our fucking lives.
"What are you doing, Philippe?"
Philippe is just observing the night, and he's quite content with how things are going so far.
Oh, where is he exactly?
He's kind of off to the side, just, at a position where he can enjoy his own food and observe and make sure nothing's going too far, and also not be the center of attention.
I see, I see. So, what did you pick for your meal? You have meat, several meat pizzas. From the local cuisine, you have a bunch of meat skewers that have been barbecued, fried rice, and a cheese pizza.
Yeah, he's having fried rice and some meat skewers at the moment, so he's got like a bowl of rice and the meat skewers on top of it.
It's pretty good.
Occasionally, Nora will hand Philippe a drink.
What was that?
Occasionally, Nora would hand Philippe a drink.
No, thank you.
What is it, Nora?
At this point, would she know what Philippe likes?
You've known each other for like 5 weeks.
What do they have here for drinks?
What do you? What, I can will it anything into existence.
Nothing carbonated.
Actually, you're in a colony. You can't have carbonated things. It's just the actual 0G is a problem.
Right. Probably something akin to a Fanta.
Philippe, you're handed an orange fizzy drink.
Is there alcohol in this, Nora?
Nora smiles. There is alcohol in it.
Well, thank you. I'll keep this for the end of the night then. He puts it to the side.
Philippe, you notice out on the most of the bowling alley, sans the one that is actually being used for bowling, that most of the squadron's officers have gotten to the fencing, while most of the enlisted have gotten to the eating.
Yeah, that's it's going as planned then.
Courage seems to be fencing mostly with Peter once things have gotten going.
Yeah, Philippe just continues to observe. He makes note of who's doing what, who seems to be having fun, who seems to be by themselves, who seems to just kind of be, like what Philippe is doing is he is using this opportunity, this event as an opportunity to basically get a pulse check on the unit as a whole. It's very rare that you can get all these people in one room and watch them. So he's very carefully looking for anyone who might be missing, anyone who's off on their own, that sort of.
You see, second and third flight are eating together. Sans Isaac Urban, who is eating with Jamie. As Jamie is not eating.
Well, Philippe will finally kind of leave his own resting position, nod to Nora as I'll be back in a moment. And he'll head over to where Jamie and Isaac are sitting.
They're on
I'm gonna say
one of those tall bar stool type tables. There's just the two of them. Jamie, would you have a drink in this moment?
Yeah. Probably his one of the evening.
You did.
Not hungry, Lieutenant Weaver?
Sorry. Pardon that, sir?
Are you not hungry, Lieutenant Weaver?
Not at this time. Excuse me, I assume this is all what's the word I'm looking for here? It's not exactly the most healthy of spreads, I imagine, from the sounds of things, which is, fine, because that's what people want, but Weaver is obsessive about his what he's having, so he's probably just
There is the vegetarian option.
Right. Okay, well then I guess you probably would do that.
You look over to the cheese pizza.
Never mind. Forgot, yeah, this is the 80s. Yeah, it's a cheese pizza. I'm good for now, sir.
Don't make me post the link to the Vegetarian Society. 1849, for anyone listening to this, is when the vegetarian movement got started in full.
Again, it's not not that they don't exist. I just feel like they don't have a whole lot of attraction here. Oh, that's funny. Also, I assume that Philippe is interrupted. Is it sorry? Who was it? Side Saddle I was talking to?
Yep, Urban.
Yeah, as he's trying to convince Weaver of his daft plan to sneak off. So it's probably an uncomfortable moment to have the Major wander over at this time.
And how are you doing tonight, Urban?
Great, sir. Always happy to see Lieutenant Weaver not make an ass of himself on the dancing floor.
Philippe raises a brow and looks back to Jamie as if asking for elaboration.
Not particularly my strong suit. It's just kind of muttering to his drink.
I'm not much of a dancer myself, so it's understandable. Frankly, I find the movements too confusing.
Confusing, sir?
There's no rhyme or reason.
Well, it's all act and react, right?
I suppose, and in that sense, it can be compared to something akin to what the good Lieutenant Courage is leading everyone through. But overall, I've always been. And he kind of purses his lips for a moment. He's trying to think of the words and goes, I suppose it's hard to explain.
What is, sir?
Oh, the dancing and my own holdups with it.
Well, have you ever danced, sir?
A few times, mostly at formal events.
Formal events, sir?
Oh, weddings, birthday celebrations, receptions for individual.
Jamie, that last one sticks out to you.
Sorry, I actually couldn't hear that. I apologize.
Philippe said receptions for certain individuals.
Okay. This is a moment where I think I'm just failing to understand. Sorry.
Receptions, sir? Urban says.
Pardon? He kind of looks surprised at the question.
What do you mean by that?
Well, exactly what I said. Whenever there was a noteworthy visit, there was always a formal dance involved, typically.
What kind of house do you have, sir, if you can hold a formal dance?
Well, it wasn't necessarily always at my house. There were also celebrations in Paris. There was one in Copenhagen I attended. A few across the channel. I even got to see both of the United States at one point. But I suppose to more accurately answer your question, a few individuals. There was the local cadets would be hosted by my father occasionally, since he was in his retirement, he essentially became a superintendent for one of the academy. He doesn't bother to say it. He doesn't assume Urban's going to have any idea what the fuck he's talking about, so he just moves along. Whenever the Jovian transfers arrived, we would host them. And they would usually be interested in celebrations of Earth culture and what. I guess it's mostly mundane. I think the most prominent visitor was various Earth royalty and whatnot.
We were just kind of look sideways at Urban, like, oh, just nothing important, just royalty. And Philippe talking about like casually hosting Jovians. I feel like this is just a world that is completely alien to him.
That look on your face, the one, the one. Urban has it too.
Okay.
What is this Terran talking about?
What is bro yapping about?
After my mother retired from the Space Army, she ended up actually doing a stint with the diplomatic service as well. So there was occasionally various United Nations representatives passing through. There was the event at Gagarin. He waves it off. He literally waves a hand as if dismissing the thought. He goes, "Apologies, I'm rambling." I hope that answers your question, though, Urban.
Your family sounds like they're high up.
Not particularly. The highest rank anyone in my family ever got to was a general, and that was in the first Space War.
Urban raises an eyebrow at that. I'll take your word for it, sir.
Here's the secret, Urban. It's not necessarily about being high up. It's just about outliving many, many others. That's what most families on Earth can boast these days. They're the ones who lived all the way to this time period. It's interesting to trace the history and whatnot, but it would be a fool's errand to try to apply a hierarchy to it. We're not in the Middle Ages after all anymore.
I suppose that makes sense, sir.
Anyways, I'll leave you two to your meal. You both enjoy the night, hmm?
Understood, sir.
And Philippe kind of awkwardly shuffles off back to the wall.
Jamie Urban turns to you and says, "Is he some sort of like prince or something?"
I have absolutely no idea.
Would you bet five fettles on it?
Sure, what the hell? Maybe you get the details out of Cleric.
No, but that ends the bet too quickly.
We were Blink. It's like, yeah, but it's a bet. Like, don't we want to just know the answer?
Yeah, but thing is, if we can get the rumor going in the rest of the squadron, we can make the betting pool bigger.
We were all like, acknowledge the point because that just never occurred to him. Well, fine. I'll put 5 down on it, but I'm not going to be roasting any more betters on this one. I'll leave that in your hands.
Understood. Let's see. Nora, what are you doing in all this?
We're just sitting at the table where Philippe left, staring at a drink, all thinking.
The squadron seems to be in a better mood. You know, all kitted out in their nice white fatigues and black berets.
Or is also just looking around to basically see what everyone else is doing at this point.
What hasn't really changed much, you know, Philippe is coming back towards you from side saddle and lace. And, you know, a lot of the officers are still fencing with Courage. Courage is specifically fencing with Banker. And Muncher and Cleric are still bowling. They're eating while they're bowling, but they are still bowling. Let's see. You see, mothers are making the rounds with the enlisted, just sort of making his presence known. While Lieutenant Carver, aka Father, is sitting in a corner reading her book. And then returns Philippe.
Welcome back, Philippe.
I wish I could follow the lieutenant's example and find something to read, but that would be setting a bad example, I imagine. He kind of just sighs as he sits back against in his chair, turning it so it's against the wall.
And occupy my mind with the next battle.
Next fight. You think we'll be in one so soon?
If it's anything like Saturn, yes.
Well, I imagine it will be like Saturn, seeing as we are at Saturn. he tries to crack the joke.
Just stares.
As you were saying.
The last time I was here was quite hectic.
Well, hectic is an understatement from what I've been reading.
Actually, on that, I would like both of you to roll me keen politics to see how in the know you are.
Tragic. I've lost one of my D6s. I'm back down to one. I'll have to find.
You're rolling like a psycho again?
Yeah, we're back to this.
Failed again. One failure.
Oh, never mind. Psycho rolling canceled. I found.
Nora and failing politics, the usual.
That is a 1 and a 2.
How many successes is that?
Was it tact in politics?
I think it was keen, actually.
Okay, if it was keen and politics, that is 3 under 5 for 3 successes.
3 successes. So, you're not sure where it's going to come from, but it seems like the United Front Forces are, in fact, gearing up for another offensive. They do this every couple of years. Your biggest guess is they're going to either come from the communes, or they're going to, or the Bandit King is going to try to, like, link up with the second Outer Pockets. At
Nora,
Joe Cole and Kim Cole.
what's your money? Are Joe Cole and Kim Cole? The Bandit King? The United Communes? Where's your money at, Captain?
I don't make bets, but maybe Joko.
In that case, we'd likely be dealing with the United Communes then, no?
Yes, they would pose quite the issue if we were to fight them.
I'm more concerned about the Nathanist forces. From what I've heard, they have plenty of elite pilots, and they're insane.
Aren't they all?
Well, no, communards are quite sane. That means you can follow the logic. With a warlord and their merry band, they're essentially men and women out of time, existing in a fantasy where they're the heroes, or the villains, depending on the particular flavor. That makes it particularly difficult to guess what they're going to do when every act is imbued with some sort of chaotic planning process. Whereas the communards, at least, they fight similarly enough to
Enough to who?
us.
Ah, okay.
And even more so, they fight similarly to the Jovians. The Jovians we do know militarily.
Guess that'll make it easier. Somewhat.
Well, in my admittedly limited experience from the belt, if you can understand what your opponent is thinking, and it's just a matter of following along with their logic. That's what makes illogical opponents so irksome. So, I hope you're right. I would hate to have to fight to prevent a breakout at Kimcole.
I do hope we would take a harder line on them.
The only problem with the communards is if the IVA shows up.
Yes, the IVA.
Doubt they'd be with the Nathanist forces after all. Make sure you're drinking water. Some of this food is spicier than what I imagine they have on board.
Spicier?
I thought I heard you cough. Perhaps I misheard.
Oh, sorry.
Did you encounter the IVA the last time you were deployed?
Good question. What I?
You might have. Although, if it
So it was
was
the
the IVA,
Ferguson.
it would have been not a full regiment, likely an attached unit such as, IVA fleet rifles or a, like, flying regiment.
Okay. I can imagine, because Nora was with Debbers?
Oh,
Remember
Debbers,
correctly?
then? You definitely fought, like, IVA wholesale from top to bottom before then.
Yeah, I fought the IVA with Debbers.
So, what was that like? I've read the reports, seen the briefings, and the after-action analyses, but what was it like? What should we expect?
Just like with any other force, they're quite well trained, very interesting tactics.
So you don't agree with the pundits, then, that they're not a real army?
A real army doesn't matter if they're shooting at you.
So the nature of the opposition doesn't matter to you, Captain Callaghan, just that it's there?
Just that it's there. As long as there's opposition, there's another place to have to destroy.
Well, we're not here to destroy anything, Captain Callaghan. We're here to save these people.
You're correct. Sometimes you have to take very hard measures to make sure you can.
I disagree. There's a difference between hard measures and stern measures. Our Federation was founded on kindness and sternness in equal measures. When people start talking of hard measures and destruction and bringing people back in line, that's when we start losing what gives us our authority. And if we lose what gives us our authority, he yanks one of the meat chunks off the stick and holds it up, then we're basically just this. It all comes down to meat, and all that matters in that analysis is whether you're the juicier cut. And right now, few would argue that we're the juicier cut.
I think people have taken the Federation for granted.
I think the Federation has taken the people for granted. And, in effect, you are right. After all, we already discussed last time, and he double checks to make sure no one else is wandering by.
Please make me attacked investigate.
Because he does not want to be caught in the superior officer goes on a political rant in front of all their subordinates in public again.
And the enlisted is like, oh boy.
Come on.
Yeah.
I rolled a 6 and a 5 for Philippe's tact and investigate.
Do you want to
At least it
reroll?
wasn't a 6 and a 6.
You have 7
No,
narrative points.
No, because surely Nora would stop Philippe if there is someone walking by. Is his line?
Yeah, does Nora see anybody?
You roll the same thing.
All right. Yeah, potential.
You got a potential point for making sure I don't get into trouble for talking politics?
Yes.
No one is nearby that could hear you.
Go on. Have you noticed this keeps happening where in Fed Team we keep rolling potential points on bureaucracy?
The thing is, like, that's just a campaign thing. It always happens in weird spots.
All right, well, with assurance that no one is going to wander by and hear this, Philippe just goes, as we discussed last time. The corporate influence is getting almost unbearable in some locations. What I saw in the belt was just rampant criminality and an abrogation of federal duties as we've allowed mercenaries and hired guns to take our role. And they're doing it poorly to boot. Do you know how much they have to pay for a tooth extraction in the belt now?
I've never been to the belts.
And you've never had to pay for a tooth extraction, I wager.
No.
Well, I don't know how much they have to pay for a tooth extraction in the belt, because every source I saw listed a different price. It's
They
predatory.
don't have a standard?
They have no standard. The only standard there is whatever puts more money in the pockets of these businesses. It's, again, criminal negligence. That's why I ended up here in the first place. Think of it. If we aren't even giving people in the belt the base promise of what it means to be a federal soldier, why, a federal citizen, he corrects himself, why should any of them care about the Federation? As far as they're concerned, the Federation is the private security officer beating them down in the street.
Nora's expression doesn't change, but she does look like she's thinking for a moment. I don't see why they don't look for other ways to at least get something from Luna.
Well, it's simple, really. You brought it up already. People are taking the Federation for granted. People have come to the conclusion that just because our system has triumphed for the last 300 years of human history, it will continue to triumph. But when we think about it from a historical perspective, our Federation is really just almost a blip on the radar. You familiar with the history of a Earth polity called China?
Not exactly.
Well, depending on one's historical perspective, you could make the argument that the polity that is called China has existed in some format or another for almost 5,000 years. Think about that. The scale of that history versus where we are now. And to that end, the Jovians are even younger. They've been around less than 100 years. They're newborns in terms of polity.
I see. We haven't been around for that long.
And so we come to the moment. The moment where, and he kind of taps the meat stick again, the Federation is bending as much as it can under twin pressures. On one hand, we have our own failures in terms of governance and administration and what's happening in places like the Belt, Mars, and here in Saturn, not to mention what the spacers are going through. And on the other end, we have the external threat, the Jovians, and these twin pressures are pushing and causing us to bend further and further, and then he snaps the stick, until it is inevitable, if we don't relieve the pressure, that will break. That's why we have to at least hold the line here in Saturn. Not because I don't sympathize with what's happening. In fact, I would very much like if we could get meaningful reforms, and especially sweep out the colonial administration. Though, don't quote me on that. He winks.
You know, those
But
are
because-
dangerous words in the land of Governor Chow.
Exactly. But it's very obvious whose hands are in this pot. After all, the IVA is here.
Philippe,
Yes, Nora?
have you thought what you would do to change the government?
It's not my place. We're soldiers in democracy. Until the citizens themselves decide to change it, all we can do is follow the orders of the citizenry.
And what if they're too blind to see it?
Well, then we deserve our fate. It's not up to military cliques or officers to save a nation. It is up to the people of a nation to save it.
I think sometimes it takes people like us to actually change it.
See, now that, Captain Callaghan, is the sort of talk that gets you banished to Saturn.
I enjoyed Saturn.
Philippe kind of just raises an eyebrow.
They're great fighters.
Well, I suppose that is a trait for admiration.
I still believe they are quite a problem from separating from Federation.
Well, it is inevitable that if Saturn were to win this war and gain its independence, there's only really one of three routes available to them. One, subordination to the Jovians, which is unlikely, when one even just considers the material conditions of Saturn. Two, collapse into civil war. Moderately likely when we look at the situation with warlords such as Nathan's running around and all these different factions in the United Front. Something to exploit there potentially in the future. Assuming we lose, which is an assumption I would rather not make. Three, a third power enters the situation. Think about it. At the moment, we're in a rather binary state of affairs when it comes to foreign policy. While opinions are mixed on how to label the Jovians, realistically we have to consider them an independent nation threatening our own. If the Cronians were to actually gain independence and become a third polity, well, now things become interesting. Here's my question for you, Captain Callaghan. Do you believe we can win this war?
I believe we could. If we
How
took
would-
different measures.
And what different measures would you recommend?
I believe we keep trying to conserve as much. We're being too nice to them, I think.
Really? How so?
It seems like we're holding back.
Elaborate.
I think back to a much older war, one where the enemy that Terra had fought was quite troublesome to the rest of humanity. I think we should focus on the heart of the issue when it comes to the people. Their
Which is?
homes, their factories. At least until they have nothing left to fight with.
Strategic bombing, in effect.
Yes.
Takes another bite of his rice and kind of chews down on it as he considers that. The issue with strategic bombing in a Cronian context is we aren't fighting another nation. We're fighting our own people. If we bomb our own people until there's none willing to fight us left, we've just removed our own people. On top of that, the way the colonies work means something akin to a strategic bombing campaign would be ruinously destructive. And not just for the rebels, for us too. Every colony that ends up as collateral in this conflict is a colony that we have to rebuild. It's a colony that has to be recreated from scratch. All that industry that is needed in this current situation, gone. All the people who we need, gone. In an ideal scenario, the Cronian citizens would rejoin the Federation completely peacefully, and we would have very active voters, and we would get much done. We're obviously not in an ideal scenario, but your scenario is akin to finding mold in your house and lighting it on fire. We don't have to burn the house down to get rid of the mold, we just have to extract the corrupted wood. You gather my metaphor?
I gather.
The real problem isn't that we're being too nice. It's that there's no consistency in policy. Consistency. On one hand, you have units offering out candy to locals and following the ROE strictly to the letter. On the other hand, you have everyone's favorite den of unprofessional war criminals, the colonial army of Sav. Have a charming tendency to have officers in their ranks called, what was that one gentleman's name? You know who I'm referring to? Crusher?
Right. Crusher.
A man who, by all rights, in any other time, would currently be facing a court-martial for the act, even if it was an accident, what happened to that colony. So, with one hand, we tell the Cronians we're here to liberate them, save them, protect them, and that they are our brothers and citizens. With the other hand, we blow up their colonies, we brutally slaughter civilians, and we just end up bringing more and more death. If we did increase the brutality, as you suggest, what would actually happen at this stage, do you think?
Anything like Crusher, likely it possibly could get worse.
I think we would lose what's left of the loyal ones. They would have no choice but to resist. The second any side starts destroying colonies willingly, it becomes a matter of survival. As long as those colonies are intact, we have loyalists inside of them. We have men and women who are praying for the day they can see the federal flag again, and they feed us information. They commit acts of sabotage, resistance. You blow up the colony, you lose them too. And is that not akin to friendly fire?
I could see your point, Philippe.
I'm glad to hear it. Now, let's move on from the topic.
Hey, Philippe, Nora,
Yes.
I would like one of you to roll me keen investigate.
I'm going to use observant, which allows me to once per session automatically succeed as if I had crit.
Yeah, you notice that Jamie, Siesta, and Side Saddle are nowhere to be seen.
He blinks and kind of looks around the room.
Problem?
Where are my pilots?
She looks around. Not here, assumedly.
Well, Captain Callaghan, go see if you can track down Lieutenant Jamie and make sure they all don't get into any trouble. I'm not opposed to people sneaking out to have some fun. After all, they are soldiers, but it would be rather disappointing if on our first outing they get kidnapped and held for ransom.
My pleasure, sir. I shall.
Bring Cleric with you if you'd like.
Yes, sir. Nora will find Cleric.
I had to send someone because who watches the Watchmen go mine?
Watches the Watchmen!
I need Jeanne there to make sure Nora doesn't start beating some Cronian up for his money.
Hey, this
Alright,
is the
Goma,
Soul
how's my bowling
Federation. This could be for her money too.
Who watches the Watchmen? That's great.
Okay.
Goma, how's my bowling game going?
Actually, I just rolled for that. I got a tiebreaker on the first roll, so I rolled it again, and it looks like, Jeanne, you're down by 15 points. This is the last round.
I've got to make it count.
Ooh, good news.
What happened?
Muncher gutter balls 2 times in a row.
What do I roll?
No, you now have a chance. You need to get a strike and then knock over at least 6 pins to win afterwards.
All right.
So you step up to the plate, metaphorically, not a literal plate in this instance. You're not playing baseball.
Yeah.
And ahead of you, down the lane, are 10 pins. What do you do?
I'm gonna take a deep breath. I have been taking notes, practicing the taking notes of how my ball moves.
You've been writing up a
stared
fire
out-
solution?
And I look down the bowling alley. I see the center line. I can see it. And with my mind's eye, I see the path the ball is supposed to take, the way I need to swing my arm. And I go for the ball roll. I go for the shot.
I'd like you to roll me tact acrobatics.
Oh, that's even worse than my other rolls. So would that not count as a keen?
I'd allow that as well.
Okay, so slightly better, I guess. Oh my god.
What?
Dog, look at my aces. They're becoming aces by bowling.
That's
a critical success.
That's a strike at another potential point.
Look at my aces. Alright.
That gives you an additional 10 points and closing the gap to 5.
I just gotta get sick.
You just gotta get 6.
I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna, once again, rely on my sniper intuition. And I'm gonna go for the roll again. Would this be a keen firearms? Please tell me it's a keen firearms.
Yeah, keen firearms, fuck it.
Alright, let me fucking center myself real quick. Dog, please, I'm trying to roll dice. Please don't get in my face.
The dog is no longer snoring?
He's making breathing sound, but yeah, that's 4 successes.
4 successes. And that's 7 pins on the first one. You don't even need to throw it again.
I don't. But I mean, I guess I kind of do, because, you know, I need to close out the game. I don't think you could call it early, so.
Well, this is a friendly game. You can, in fact, just fucking call it early.
I guess so. John, like, as the ball hits the strike, John just goes, yes! And he jumps up.
You see Munger off her hand. Good game.
Oh, yes, good game. And she's gonna take it and shake it very enthusiastically.
So have you bowled before?
No, this was my first time. It was very exciting.
It's an alright game. Although it's usually better with more people.
I do wish the others could join us, but they seem busy. And then she looks to Courage, currently dueling the shit out of people.
Actually, Courage is not doing that. She's currently eating. And quite voraciously at that. You've noticed that with her. She loves to eat.
then I assume other people are fencing, and there's just rows and rows of people fencing, and there's us who's actually bowling.
The one lane. And then
Yeah.
when you look past Muncher's shoulder, you see Captain Callaghan coming forward.
Oh no.
What? Muncher says.
Yeah, John realizes she says that out loud and just kind of looks to Muncher, gives her a smile, and just says, "Captain Callaghan, can we help you?"
We're looking for the other squad mates. You'll be coming along.
Is it Siesta and his friend? Well, what was their name? Siesta and
Side saddle.
Is
That's
it Siesta
Scott
and Side Saddle
Rowland.
Man?
Scott Rowland is Siesta, and Isaac Urban is Side Saddle.
Yes, those are the ones who are missing. There was one more, right?
Also, Jamie Weaver, Lace.
So after I walked away from Jamie, Jamie then disappeared off somewhere.
No, he disappeared with everyone else. This is not a new
Facts.
development.
Oh no, I meant after we dueled.
Yeah, pretty much.
Take your eye off someone for one moment.
She sighs as she says, "I told them to not do something like this." "Very well, ma'am. I'll accompany you."
Good. Do you know where they went?
"Most likely," and she pulls up her hands and goes into quotation marks, "chick hunting."
She's giving you a look as if she could like smack you across the back of the head. Seriously?
I believe that was their intention before leaving the ship. Before I spoke to them, yes.
You knew of this?
I told them not to, and they swore not to, but apparently I needed to be a bit more strict with them. So I will assist you in looking for them.
Right.
Ooh.
I was gonna have to imagine where they would be for chick hunting.
Yes. Chick hunting.
Where to now, Nora?
That's a good question. That is a good question. Where would these fools be looking for chicks?
And they're chick hunting. Gotta say it every time like you're quoting it.
Yeah.
This feels like a Disco Elysium bit.
Chick hunting.
You just keep repeating the same word over and over again.
That's where we're at.
Chick hunting? Nah. Colonel, Captain, they're telling us that they're, quote, chick hunting. But yeah, I guess we're gonna have to figure. Well, I assume they'd be at like a more social area, so somewhere in the streets.
We cut to Jamie. Jamie?
Jamie, you wake up in a dark room.
Yep.
You see 10 meters down on the street, Scott get slapped in the face before the girl he was talking to storms off.
Well, that took less time than I had figured.
I didn't even say anything.
Do you even speak the language?
Well, I speak inner. That should be good enough.
Well, that's certainly an assumption.
Urban says, and you strike out yet again, Scott. You know, at this rate, you're going to have to try your luck with a prostitute. Then,
He's needing luck for that. He's not doing it right.
I suppose that is. That is one way to put it, Jamie. Hey, Nora.
Yes.
I'd like you to roll me grit intimidation.
My one job. Ain't no way.
What?
Potential.
There's been a surprising amount of criticals this episode.
Dog, look at my ace pilots.
7 successes.
So, no, that's not how criticals work, first off. Jamie,
Yep.
you feel a threatening aura behind you.
Well, that took less time than I anticipated. Just a second. Yeah, no, I was gonna check. I was like, what's Jamie's stealth? Oh, 0. Never mind. Just gonna glance over my shoulder at the, wave of terror that's suddenly creeping over him.
And, you turn over, and there is Captain Callaghan along with Cleric.
I imagine Callaghan looks like if, like an anime, her face is darkened, you can only see one eye, right? And then there's Cleric just being there, looking like an angry, like, older sister figure. There's, like, pure murderous intent, and then, like, I can't believe you boys really went and did it when I told you not to. I'm so disappointed in you.
This close to putting the sword to use.
Philippe maybe made the right call.
I feel like I need a composure check because this is.
It's a critical.
This is not. Yeah, no. This is. It's more about him holding it together with side saddle and what's his nuts? Sorry, I always forget the other
Fiesta.
one. Fiesta, because like Weaver was not super on board with this plan. Them getting caught before anyone actually gets into any shit is probably like fine. I mean, they have to deal with the consequences, and that's gonna suck. But like, this could honestly have gone worse. It's like, oh no, our fun is over. What a disaster. That's only like a single success if it was composure, but still.
Callaghan comes on over. Nora, what now?
Nora grabs Jamie and just kind of looks at him. Did you have your fun?
I'm guessing it's been like, what, 5 minutes at this point?
You've been gone for around 20, actually.
all that I was going to, am going to.
Good. Now it's best you return before you get into some trouble.
Then you see Irvin say, "What trouble, man? We are just improving relations with the locals." As you look right into Siesta, the bright red hand mark on Siesta's face.
Siesta, I could give you more markings. Would you like that?
You see Siesta struggle to keep his straight face. No, ma'am.
Problem.
Ma'am?
Is there a problem?
No problem as far as I can tell, ma'am.
Then I think it's best if you return.
Understood, ma'am.
As they're going, Jeanne's going to come up in front of them, and she's going to say, "What did I tell you to?"
To not try to get laid, Cleric, and neither of us did. We were just improving relations with the locals. Isn't that part of
Don't
our
be cheeky with
peacekeeping
me. And she's
mission?
immediately going to grab their ears and drag their asses back to the bowling alley by the ear. Ugh. So yeah, as he's saying, like, improving relations, they both get their ears grabbed, and they are just being dragged off by the ear
And
back to the bowling alley.
And Jamie, you see this.
I mean, kind of nonplussed by this. And just will follow along in the wake of this, like, temporary diversion.
You know, that really is what this entire party is, in a way. A temporary diversion. Because, you know, elsewhere in Saturn, and the green and red flags of the nationalists and the communards are preparing for their winter assault. And you, as a part of Debbers Fixers, will be on the very tippy spear of it. But you don't know that yet. You won't know that for another 2 days, as when the hammer falls. But we'll save that for next time on Tension and Soul.